How's it, everybody? Yes, I thought I would just continue the jump on the bandwagon. And I'm going to do another sleep token. Obviously, that's why you clicked most likely. And quite the journey. A lot of stuff going on. Kind of bizarre. Sad, bizarre. The doxing. But I have thought about that. Maybe I'll find another time to share it. You know, the weird enclave, if you would, of worship and what it does to people and how they may peel discursive layers of thinking away to want to dox people, I guess. I don't know. But that last track, Caramel, was pretty telling. So today we're listening to a song called, I'm going to get this wrong because I write good. Bad grammar for those of you who caught that. But I'm going to say that this song is called Damocles, maybe. Phonetically, would it be a Damocles? I don't know. You guys help me with that in the chat. I'm an old man. I surrender. Let's do this. Let's do this. This is Sleep Tokens Damocles. And if I'm wrong on the name, just hunt me down in the in the comments. Here we go.
Well, I've been waking up under blades, blue blossom days. If only Damocles would hit
Purdy
me
piano.
back. No alabaster carvings or faces on a farthing would prevent my head from fading to black. And it feels like falling into the sea from outer space in seconds.
Very laid-back voicings with the piano.
And I play this chord and days on repeat until they look like harmony.
Get it? Harmony? Background vocals?
When the river runs dry and the curtain is cold, how will I know if I can't see the bottom? Come up for air and choke on it all. No one else knows that I've got a problem. What if I can't get up and stand tall? What if the diamond days are all gone? And who will I be?
It's like a very light, lo-fi percussion going on back there, it feels like. Yeah, the guy's got a really unique voice, so. I know it's a love or hate for a lot of people, but love or hate, but. Nice shift in the dynamics from a nice stereo piano to.
I should be touring. I know these chords are boring, but I can't always be killing the game. No golden grand pianos or voices.
Kind of a 60s voicing of the piano, Joan Baez, you know, vibes and stuff. Simple, but effective. Their production is always really great with ethereal ambient environments, reverbs or pads, just bringing it out there. Ah, there it is. Okay, just got to stop for a second. Really, I mean, I hear it in the lyrics when the singer talks about simple chords or boring chords, I think was said there. There is a power to the beauty of simplicity that composers, arrangers, songwriters who know, especially allowing melodic things to weave through it, where those boring, let's say, chords really can live expansively. And I said earlier about the voicing of the keys. As I mentioned before, they're wizards. It's ambiance, ethereal. The dropping in of the heavy metal aspect of it, sometimes this is where I feel, is this an obligation to kind of pay homage to the fact that they're considered a pop metal band or something, but it is a signature sound of theirs, you know. So let me go back a little bit and we'll continue on without me stopping any further. I'd be begging for relief when what is so
listen to you feels like it's screaming to me. Will nobody told me I'd get tired of myself when it all looks like heaven, but it feels like hell. When the river runs dry and the curtain is cold, how will I know if I can't see the bottom? Come up for air and choke on it all. No one else knows that I've got a problem. What if I can't get up and stand tall? What if the diamond days are all gone? And who will I be when the empire falls? Wake up alone and I'll be forgotten.
The drummer. He's going, this ain't heavy, but I'm going to make it sizzle a bit. Ooh, nice little flammy part of that fill there. Beautiful little meandering piano there. It's like closing a little chapter. It's like the winding down in the end of the little ballerina on a one of those little spinning ballerina things going on there. Okay, so this track was really super subdued, and let's just go with the musicality of it. As I mentioned earlier, the piano playing and the voicings were kind of laid back. And then I'm going, okay, as a composer, I get that, because truthfully, I know people kind of circle jerk about, how much movement there is in arrangements and stuff. And, if you're trying to have that conversation and stuff, and then all of a sudden a band or somebody shows up with a song that has 2 or 3 chords in it, or 4 chords, the expression that can happen through additional arrangements with its simplicity is pretty paramount. In this case, I like the voicings, if you would, of the piano chords. Very close, very intimate, not wide, if you know what I'm talking about. Pianists and musicians know. And I think that really kept it nice and intimate for him for the vessel. I guess that's his name, yeah. With his melody and his vocal tones to fit in nicely. He doesn't, in this particular track, there's not a lot of range that he's pushing himself through. Doesn't need to, actually, because of where he is in the mix, the arrangements, the essential, if you would. If it's not Sleep Token, if you don't have some kind of passive ambient ethereal pads or things that are happening in the background that could be very subversive. Like I could have swore I heard like a lo-fi percussive thing happen before the first hook. Then when the guitar comes in, as I said during the stop, that's a signature move for them, but not just for them. Many bands use that, will come in cleanly and then give you the people's elbow with that kind of guitar sound or that kind of infused power. And of course, the drummer kicked ass and took no hostages. I think the drummer really just like kind of overshined, if you would. Not in a bad way. I'm not, I said it that way, but I don't mean it as a dig. It's just at some point in the representation of that track and the arrangement to take those insanely, incredibly wonderful drum fills and speed that all of a sudden went from this kind of hey mode to like, kind of get you into that. There's got to be some kind of context between the musicians, the arrangement, production, and what the messaging was. Of course, that's what Sleep Token is. Sleep Token's all about. Here in Hawaii, we call it kauna, reading between the lines. And so there's a lot of reading between the lines, I believe, with their arrangements and stuff. But as far as the track, it was very laid back, and he even admits in his thing it's boring chords. But I would have a conversation about it being boring. I think the easier and the more laid back or the simpler the basic tracks are per se, the more challenging and abstract you can get with arrangements without going too far out and not lose the principal thing, the melody, So that was my take on it. Very laid back track. Like I said, I do have some other thoughts about, the personal things that seem to be happening to the band members and stuff like that, but who cares what I think, right? Nobody wants to hear that. There's a ton of videos with everybody speculating and all that. I just have that kind of Obi-Wan Kajibski way of looking at it going, Let's see. They cover up like Ghost and Behemoth and Slipknot and Kiss and many other bands. Why are they going through something particularly more cynical and different than, let's say, any of those other bands? Oops, I slipped. I went there. Thanks so much for hanging out. If you're still here, type in "I'm still here." You guys have a kick-ass day. Remember, count the wins. They stack up. Take care. All right.